So friends, this webinar is slightly different. It is not on technology, and it is going to be extremely important to understand the various ill effects of the air pollution on our health. It is going to help us to visualize the dreaded future of our next generation if we do not act now or if we do not take immediate actions. The objective of this webinar is basically to connect you with this serious problem emotionally using your right brain. And my presentation on this would last for about 30 minutes, followed by the recap of last 3 webinars, and then a quiz contest. Quiz contest is going to be only for 10 minutes with 14 multiple choice type of questions. The winner of the quiz shall be rewarded suitably. Guys, it is going to be a very thrilling session with lots of data related to the health hazard of air pollution. I would like each one of you to stay connected till end. And before I start, let me remind you about the grand rule. Because the today's webinar is going to charge you a bit emotionally, so you need to maintain high energy. Without getting it involved deeply, you will not be able to visualize your future or your next generation's futures if we do not act now. Hold your questions, if any, for the Q&A session. Put it in the chat box, because after this webinar, we are going to have a recap of the first 3 quickly in 10 minutes, followed by a quiz contest. The third ground rule, which is the IP, please do not click pictures of any video or any slide. If you find something very interesting, because there are a couple of videos today which you find would definitely find it more interesting. So if something is there, please write in the chat box. Our backend team will definitely send you on one-to-one mail within the next 48 hours. So thank you so much, guys, for coming back again and again and learning new things every time. So today is going to be an important day. It is for about our health, about our nature, about our next generation. It is not on any technology today. So let me share the presentation, and by that time, please write in the chat box if you are with me so far and if you are committed to be deeply involved in this particular webinar. Thank you so much. Please respond in the chat box. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Thank you for your response. Let me just start. As the name shows, that environmental health hazard from various pollutants. So we are going to discuss today what we will be landing up if we do not act on the air pollution. So if you look at this slide, this air quality index and global warming, you can see that because of the air quality, deteriorating air quality across the globe, the global temperature is going to be up by 1.5 degree by 2040. This is what is from WHO. And the effect of increasing the global temperature by 1.5 degree has devastating effect on the ecology and the sustainability of our nature. So this is where we are heading for if the right actions are not taken. This shows our present, wherein we are not able to breathe very clearly. The toxic air also made the COVID fight little more difficult during the pandemic session. Friends, if we do not take up this decisively today and make it a mass movement to push the respective government of our states to work more in a structured manner to find a right solution to provide the clean air. Getting the clean air is the fundamental right of each and every one of us. And hence we cannot afford any delay. Situation is really worsening as the available data proves that every Indian, particularly in NCR region, is losing about 5 to 7 years because of bad air quality. This is the data which is printed in print media and also in electronic media. Just have a look on this slide once again. If we do not act, this is going to be our future. Rest assured. Trust me, it is going to be our future if we do not act decisively on combating the air pollution control on an urgent note. I just take you to a very interesting video, and then you will realize where are we heading for by year 2050 if the actions are not taken. Just listen to it very carefully. Just a moment, there's some technical hitch on the audio. Hope it is audible now. Please write yes in the chat box if it
The
is
Earth has seen temperature variations for millions of years, but those temperature increase or decrease has happened over hundreds and thousands of years, and that has allowed species and ecosystems to adapt.
What is different now is that humans are driving this, and human actions are overwhelming those natural variations. The rate of warming is some 10 to 30 times faster than it has been in our past climate history.
In fact, it would put a big question mark on the survivability of the human civilization.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now commencing our descent into Delhi. Due to dense smog, not much of the city is visible below, but you will notice that a new grid of air filters has been installed to deal with it.
I look down wistfully. Once the magnificent capital of India, Delhi, has been reduced to a smouldering furnace. The giant air filters attempt to clean its cover of toxic air, granting people the last chance to breathe. Daytime temperatures now exceed human tolerance. I hear the rich have moved to underground shelters and work only in the night. For this nocturnal generation, filters and masks are the new norm.
At 3 degrees of warming, the world would be characterised by the words outright chaos. We are talking about the crisis of food and water, secure places for people to live and work, leading to the breakdown of social institutions, which manifests at a national and then an international scale.
So friends, is it scaring? Yes, of course it is scaring for all of us. You just heard that global warming is taking place 10 to 30 times at a greater pace than the normal it should have been. And it is all created by who? It is all created by we humans in the rat race of development. We have disturbed the ecology and the nature of this planet Earth. And it is a huge responsibility of each one of us to correct the situation, whatever best we can for our future generations to survive on this planet. You can see from this slide that how the glaciers are going to be melted and how the fires in the forest is taking place. And it is all because of the ecological disturbance and the global warming. This is the what it is not only impacting the nature, it is also impacting the human lives. We are inhaling all these toxic airs in everyday life, and we take it very lightly so far. So the time has come that we need to be more careful on this. Believe me, if we do not act now, it is going to be very, very late. So let us all come together to save our Mother Earth before it ends. And this is where the 𝗓𝗏𝗍𝗂 steps in as a technology provider in the field of air pollution control. In the last 3 webinars, we explained the 8 different technologies to combat this air pollution control, starting from the basic, which is prevailing already in India, and followed by the 3 new technologies which can be adopted to meet the European standards on air quality. Also, our team is trying to develop the solutions for few industries where the air pollution devices can generate some revenue, so that it can become a revenue generating model. And in that series, one of our product has got patented, and we have got a CII national award recently on that. It is for the sugar industry or for biomass drying and cleaning the flue gas in one shot, called the hybrid model of biomass dryer. While the team 𝗓𝗏𝗍𝗂 is working hard to provide the right technology to various industries, we are putting our best efforts, as I told you, to make the pollution control a revenue generating model. Through our e-magazine, Green Heroes, as you see on the bottom of this slide, we are also taking initiative to create awareness in the industry by recognizing the industry warriors who have done a great work in the field of environment in their respective plants. We are publishing their interview in our e-magazine on this portal of greenheroes.in, and talking about their journey and sharing their experience to inspire the other people in that industry. So friends, we all are doing this with a vision of understanding that green is gold and providing the engineering for excellence to create healthier environment, and with a mission statement that the pollution is inevitable, but pollution is not. Pollutants are inevitable, but pollution is not. This means that any industrial process, if we have to grow, if we have to have the development of the country, then there has to be some pollutants which generated. You can't avoid. You can only minimize by adopting the better process of generation, but you can't zero it down. So we need some good technologies to make the pollution zero or to minimize to the extent possible. Pollutants will always be there in one form or the other, but the technology requirement in India is going to be very, very high in near future to control all this nuisance from the different industries. Before we proceed further, let me just take you through the definitions as per WHO on a couple of terminology which are used in the air pollution control segments. World Health Organization defines that environmental health comprises those aspects of human health, including quality of life is of course one of the parameters that are determined by physical, chemical, biologic, mechanical, and psychological factors in the environment. Any external factor that negatively affect your health can be considered as environmental health hazard. It is not only the physical aspect of the body, it is also on the psychological part of the body. So all this comes under the environmental health hazard. And as far as the environmental pollution is concerned, the WHO defines that environmental pollution is the unfavorable alteration of our surrounding. Anything which changes against the nature is a pollution, wholly or largely as a byproduct of man's action through direct or indirect effect of the changes in the energy pattern, radiation levels, and chemical and physical constitution and abundance of organism. So this is what is the environmental pollution is as per the definition of WHO. And what are the pollutants? We normally say everything as a pollutant. No, everything is not a pollutant. There is a specific definition of defining a pollutant. So if you look at the definition of pollutant, a pollutant can be any chemical, toxic, metal, or gaseous pollutants, or any particulate matter to that extent, or geochemical substance, dust or sediment, as I told, biological organism or product or physical substance that is released intentionally. Underline this, that is released intentionally or inadvertently by human into the environment with actual or potential adverse, harmful, unpleasant, or inconvenient effects. Such undesirable effect may be direct or indirect, being mediated via resources, organisms, or climate change. Depending on the nature of pollutant and also subsequent pollution of environmental component, the pollution may be categorized as follows. This is what is there on the website of WHO. You can see all these in the Environmental Act of US as well. Air pollution, water pollution, land or soil pollution, noise, radioactive and thermal pollution. These are all the categories which are defined, and each has got a different definition. So these are the type of pollution. And if you look at particularly on the air pollution constituents, you find there are particulate matters which has different sizing, like PM10 or maybe PM100, PM2.5. So these are all solid particulate matter which are emitted by various combustion processes or from vehicular pollution or any construction building, the dust emission. So these are all solid particulates which creates a problem in the respiratory system of the human body. Then you have other gaseous pollutants like carbon monoxide, which is again mostly through the combustion processes, nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen can be from many sources because it is a diffused pollution which is created by various methodology and various like fertilizing, from combustion, from many other sources. Sulfur dioxide, heavy metals in the form of mercury, volatile organic compounds, and then ozone. So these are the basic air pollutants which are there in one form or the other, and have a negative or severe effect on the human body. If you understand the pollution cycle, the emissions are generated through the industrial process or any other process. Then it gets disintegrated, chemical transformation takes place in the air, and then the dispersion reacting with the sunlight, and then again concentrated and come back on the earth in the form of rain and polluting the water table and polluting the soil. So this is a closed loop cycle basically. The major pollutants of air, sources of air pollution, if you look at, this is a pie chart on a global level, right? So you can look, industries contribute to about 17% of the total air pollutants, whereas the transport is still higher, 22.5%, and then diesel generator and so on. Power plants is to the extent of 5%, and then kilns, dust, and diffuse sources of various chemical, fertilizer, and other. Now I'll take you through a table which will define each pollutants, its sources, and environmental and human health hazard by that particular element. So first we come to the most dangerous is carbon monoxide. And the sources are that fires, industrial processes, and automobile emissions, which has the carbon monoxide. It contributes to the smoke formation, which you have seen the smoke in the winter days. You find a thick smoke on the, especially in NCR. Whoever is there from NCR, they must understand it very well. And the health hazard attached to this is basically symptoms of heart disease, chest pain, vision problem can also be part of it, reduced physical and mental capabilities in healthy people. The next one is the oxides of nitrogen, which is again from the power plant. We call it NOx in the short form, industrial processes or automobile emissions. And this damages the vegetation and also contribute to the smoke formation. And health hazard on human body is inflammation and irritation of breathing. Then comes to sulfur dioxide, that is the SO2. This is again from power plant, fossil fuel, combustion, industrial processes, and automobile industry. And the environmental impact is major cause of haze, contribute to the acid rain, which subsequently damages soil, building, monuments, react to form particulate matter. Breathing difficulties is the cause of human health, particularly for people with asthma and heart disease. Then comes to the ozone. This source is basically from nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds from industrial and automobile emissions, gasoline vapors, chemical solvents, and electrical utilities. The environmental impact that it interferes with ability of certain plants to respire, leading to increased susceptibility to other environmental stressors like disease, harsh, and weather. And human health hazard is reduced lungs functions, irritation, and inflammation of breathing space again. Then the particulate matter, which is the most common pollutant in air, is source of particles include fire, smokestack, construction site, roads. Sources of secondary particulate includes reaction between gaseous chemical emitted by power plants and automobiles. And it contributes to the formation of haze again and acid rain, which changes the pH balance of waterways and damages foliage, buildings, and monuments. Irritation of breathing space and passages. Basically, this creates a lot of respiratory problem in the human body. And then the lead, which is the mercury. It comes out from the metal processing. Also, a little bit of amount could be from the crematorium, wood-based crematorium, waste incineration, and also from power plants, a small amount which is normally in some areas of coal combustion. Loss of biodiversity is the impact on environment, decreased reproduction, neurological problem in vertebrates. And then coming to the human, you find that adverse effect on multiple body. It is a very cancerous element, may contribute to learning disabilities, psychological disorder in young children, and cardiovascular effect in adults. So this is all the effect of various pollutants on human body as well as on the environment. And if you look at this graph, this picture, you find that all the vital organs, be it brain, heart, lungs, or any other respiratory system, is all affected by one pollution or the other pollution. The air pollution affect most of them, whereas the water pollution affect the gastro issues, and then soil pollution is also the digestive cycle of the human body. That is the whole human body with vital these organs, they all are affected with some sort of pollution. So that means we are until and unless these pollutions and the toxic air is in the environment, we are deadly affected by all of this. And if you look at overall consequences of the pollutants on various level, you find that at local level and regional level and then global level, it has multiple effects. On the local level, as I told you, it affects the human health in the vicinity of that particular source of pollution. Vegetation in the vicinity, material goods, cultural goods, all this is affected by the pollution, air pollution. On the regional level, the smoke formation, which goes beyond the city, so it affects on the regional level. Acid rain is again on the regional level, and then acidification of the soil and groundwater is again on the regional level. On the global level, it affects the surfaces of the earth. Like you see here, it affects the ozone layer at various stages and also create greenhouse effect and climate change and the global warming. Friends, now I will take you through the disaster of air pollution worldwide, which has happened over the years of, over the last 100 years in various countries. These are the well-known disasters created by the air pollution at different levels. This is from India. You all know Taj Mahal, and you can now see how it has got affected because of the air pollution, mainly the sulfur dioxide, maybe because of the refinery nearby and various other pollutants. Then Meuse Valley, Belgium, if you look at the date, this is from European country, and you find that it is 1938. And Meuse Valley contained farms, village, steel mills and chemical and thermal inversion because in those days the air pollution control technologies were not available. So all these European countries and US, they got badly affected in that area because the pollution control technologies were not there. Fortunately, in that reason, because when we started developing our countries and all those things came, then technology had got established by that time. Maybe the basic technology, but something was available. But in that period, in 1938 and so on, there was a huge catastrophic damage in Belgium, and complete 60 people died in that period. And then you see this Donora in 1948 in the US. There was a zinc plant which created this whole devastating effect on the vicinity of the plant, and many people died in 1948. Then again in London in 1952, this is a very famous story of December 1952, and this lasted for about 5 days, and more than 12,000 fatalities were reported. And it was because of the power plant, low-grade coal was being used, and there was a huge weather disturbance, cyclone, and also pollutants from various coal combustion. Friends, are you able to see the slide change? If yes, please write yes. Are you able to see this London slide? Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I'll just take a couple of slides back so that you can see back. Yes, I explained this 1948 Donora smoke, and then coming to London that had a fatality of over 12,000. And then Bhopal gas tragedy, who I think each one of us remember this tragedy in 1984, December 2nd night. And 20,000 people were died. And this was again so many, I mean, 170,000 people got affected, hospitalized, and then later on the death was about 20,000 people. And it was because of the leakage of chemical, which is called MIC, from the plant. And in the recent past, you must have heard in 2019, there was a fire in Amazon wildfire in Australia. And 27 plus people killed, 2,000 homes destroyed, 20 million acres burnt, 350 million tons, I repeat, 350 million tons of CO2 was released by burning of these forests, and 1 billion plus animal killed. So this is all is the effect or the adverse effect of ecological disturbances which is taking place because of the air pollutants at various levels. You must have remembered, you remember recently in the lockdown, the AQI in NCR region was around 100 during the lockdown, and which shot up to 400 after the lockdown. So this clearly defines that this all air pollution is created by we all human, and we have a huge responsibility to cut down to the desired level and leave a good planet for our future generations. So at the end, I would like to say that be a part of the solution and not the pollution. This is a depiction, and AQI indicators, you all know that in what AQI, good or satisfactory, moderate, poor, very poor, or severe. This is a table which is available on internet on any other website of CPCB or a State Pollution Control Board. 0 to 100 is supposed to be good or satisfactory, whereas in various European countries, even if it goes beyond 30, there is a huge hue and cry, especially in countries like Sweden, Norway, and others. But 0 to 100, we call it as a satisfactory level, and then moderate between 101 to 200, poor is 200 to 300, and then very poor 300 to 400. So especially the NCR region is most of the time traveling in these 2 or 3 boxes. Okay, so this is all for PM10, PM2.5, CO, O3, and NO2. All this is the this defines the total air quality index of that particular area. So friends, before I end, I would like you to see one video which will show you where are we heading for and what we have done so far in last so many decades. So I'll just run through this video. Please listen it carefully. It is very, very emotional, very, very nice video, and you will see the future in this.
Some call me nature. Others call me Mother Nature. I've been here for over 4.5 billion years, 22,500 times longer than you. I don't really need people, but people need me. Yes, your future depends on me. When I thrive, you thrive. When I falter, you falter. Or worse. But I've been here for eons. I have fed species greater than you, and I have starved species greater than you. My oceans, my soil, my flowing streams, my forests, they all can take you or leave you. How you choose to live each day, whether you regard or disregard me, doesn't really matter to me. One way or the other. Your actions will determine your fate, not mine. I am nature. I will go on. I am prepared to evolve. Are you?
So friends, this is a heart-wrenching video which you must have felt, that with this I leave the matter to your conscience. As rightly said, your actions today will determine your future. And I leave this presentation with a quote that air pollution is not a joke, it will make you choke. So it is the time that we all come together and act as fast as possible, adopting the right technology at the right place. It should not happen that people are just putting something to satisfy the regulatory bodies and then forgetting to run it effectively. It is the time not only for us to do for the compliances, but also as a social cause. to leave a planet Earth in a good shape for our next generation. Thank you so much for this hearing me such patiently on this particular webinar. So friends, after this we are going to have a quiz contest, but before that if any question is there, I will try to reply on this, and then we will proceed with the quiz contest and the recap of last three webinars on this of this series. So if any question is there, I'll take up. Otherwise, I'll proceed with the recap quickly in next 10 minutes, running through the slides fast, and then take up 10 minutes quiz on this particular series. So let me just take up the questions, if any. Yes, Mr. Suraj, this is regarding the EV vehicles. I thank you for the feedback, and definitely we will look into this and come out with a good video or the content on this particular subject. Thank you, Singh Saab, for the compliments. And then coming to next question is bricklet or white coal safer than wood? It is from Vikrant Latkar. Okay, there are not many questions, only one or two questions. So friends, let me just run through the first, second and third webinar quickly. Please listen it carefully, because the quiz questions in the quiz contest are going to be surrounded or going to be from these webinars only. Very basic questions, very simple question. Whosoever is getting the maximum correct numbers will be announced today itself within next 2 to 3 minutes after the quiz is over, and then he will be receiving the reward by courier, and our backend team will connect him through the telephonic connection. So are you all guys ready for me to take the recap of the 3 webinars? If yes, please write yes in the chat box. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So let us take down the recap of last 3 webinars. The first webinar, as you remember, was on a waste heat recovery and flue gas cleaning in pulp and paper plants. That was focused on paper plants and paper industry. And here what we learned about the biomass drying using the waste heat from the boiler flue gases. And the objective of biomass drying was either prolonged cogeneration, increasing the power generation from the same fuel, or flue gas cleaning, fuel saving, or improved boiler operations. So these were the 4 objectives of biomass drying. And this was the video where the biomass drying concept was demonstrated. So if I'm able to run, I'll just run it quickly. The biomass is coming from the front of the boiler and then intermixed with the flue gases of the boiler after air preheater at 130 to 150 degrees C. And this mixture of biomass and the hot flue gases travels together in a flash tube, where the moisture present in the biomass gets evaporated and the dried fuel comes separated through a series of cyclone and then fed back to the boiler. And partially clean gas goes to the secondary system for cleaning, either through the 𝗓𝗔𝗍 or 𝗓𝗔 scrubber, and then goes to the chimney. So this is what the hybrid dryer was explained, having the dryer followed by 𝗓𝗔𝗍, fan, and then chimney. This is the technology which can reduce the moisture by 15 to 25% in the biomass, and at the same time can produce the emissions below 30 milligram. That means meeting the current norms for the power plant or for the paper plant below 30 milligram as an outlet emission. And then we went around explaining the concept of wet electrostatic precipitator. Most of you knows about the dry ESPs, the conventional ESP, which you use for the particulate control. But this is the concept of wet electrostatic precipitator, which we have a tie-up with a Swedish company. The wet ESP and dry ESPs, conceptually they are same. The only difference in the first and last stages of the functioning. The first stage, the gas conditioning, because wet ESP needs a saturated gas for charging the wet particles of dust with the water, and then charging, collecting is same process like migration and charging towards the collecting electrode, and then removing. There is no wrapping in the wet ESP. The wet ESP removes the particulate from the collecting pipes through the water flushing. Unlike in normal ESP, you have a hammer wrapping, Miggy wrapping, and other type of wrapping, or a sonic wrapping. But in wet ESP, you have a flushing, water flushing for removal of dust particles. And this was the major takeaway of this. Then we went around the potential of using this technology in paper industry. We, in the CPP, the captive power plant of paper industry, can use it for drying of pith, and also then followed by wet ESP to reduce the emission level to below 30. And then in the same webinar, we described about a very interesting and new technology called electrified gravel bed precipitator, particularly for chemical recovery boilers, black liquor fired boilers. This is called 𝗂𝗍𝗑 precipitator, which is very unique. Only one installation is there in India, which was put up by us in 2019-20. And this is a very unique concept. This is a type of vertical ESP, which can have a very good, which can be a very good solution for all those typical nature of fuel which has high alkali, especially all those biomasses like mustard husk, like your empty fruit bunch, spent wash in distilleries, black liquor fired boiler in paper. Wherever the combustible produce is having alkalis or sticky nature of dust, this technology can be best utilized in those conditions to reduce the emissions of below 10 milligram. I repeat, we have seen it running in Sweden at 6 milligram for, it is running for last 15 years. It's a very compact equipment, and the resistivity of the particles does not play any role here. More is the electrical resistivity, better is the performance. It is just the reverse principle of ESP. There is no current flowing. It is only the voltage which is used for creating a static charge on the gravel. Gravel is the stone, normal gravels. So we had installed the 𝗓𝗑, which is the maximum efficiency particulate abatement. It's a combination of two-stage normal ESP with 𝗂𝗍𝗑 electrified, and this is called 𝗓𝗑. So this then further we explained about the benefits or the merits of this particular technology. There is, the most important is there is no wrapper re-entrainment here, because the gravels are cleaned outside the chamber, outside the gas path, and it can handle high resistivity dust. It is modular in design. It has a 10 to 20 times more collecting surface area as compared to ESP. And then we came to the innovative bagasse dryer, biomass dryer, particularly for sugar industry, and how we made it revenue generating and got the CII award for the most innovative product of year 2021. So the concept of hybrid dryer was explained, how it was innovated, taking the heat from the exhaust flue gases of the boiler, which was otherwise going waste to the stack. So all this process was explained. And then again, we came to the qualitative and quantitative gains of this particular there. And then we also
With this, we move to the next category of awards, the most innovative energy saving product. Out of over 20 applications that were received this year, the panel of judges had shortlisted 3 of them to come and make presentations in front of the jury. And the panel has selected 𝗩𝗿𝗶𝗍𝗂 Engineers Private Limited for their innovative hybrid dryer for bagasse as the most innovative energy saving product for the year 2021. Some of the unique features of this was a unique revenue generating APC model for sugar industry, something which the sugar industry has been looking at as a dryer for bagasse. A very innovative technology. The panel of judges have chosen 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗋 for the most innovative energy saving product for the year 2021. Congratulations, 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗋 team.
And further this, we also, in overall situation of sugar industries was also correlated with this hybrid model, saying that there are total 500 sugar mills in India approximately. Out of that, I think 450 are operational, and they are having 8,000 megawatt of bagasse weight cogeneration presently. It is capable of doing much more, around 30,000, but presently 8,000 megawatt is being generated from the left out bagasse of the plant. And if I take this 8,000 megawatt only without considering the future expansion of cogeneration, we can create or generate additional green energy of 2,100 gigawatt. It's a big figure. 2,100 gigawatt we can create by drying this fuel only by using the waste heat from the boiler flue gases. We can create 2,100 gigawatt of power, extra power I'm talking about, because of the drying of fuel. And then also reduction in greenhouse gases can be achieved to the tune of 2 million tons of carbon dioxide. So this concept can play its role in reducing the carbon footprints by 2030 as committed by our beloved Prime Minister in Glasgow. 1 billion tons of CO2 is supposed to be reduced by 2030, and we need to be carbon net emission zero by 2070. So this is one area where the policies have to come, and the government or the stakeholder have to concentrate and focus to reduce these greenhouse gases by using this technology, and then at the same time also generating extra green power from the same fuel. And this is the analysis for 170 days of sugarcane crushing season. And then the last pre-final webinar was on upgradability of existing air pollution control system for improving the collection efficiency. This was the third webinar where we had taken up each and every type of air pollution control which is available in the industry, and how we can modify them with a minimum investment to generate better efficiency and to meet the current pollution norms. So various innovative solutions were explained here, like, ESP back filter and wet scrubbers are the most prevailing technology which is available in the industry. And with the stack emission norms getting reduced from 150 to 50 and now to 30, and all these old systems are designed for 150. So there is a need of reducing by another 80%, coming down from 150 to 30 milligram. So how to do that? The normal conventional way of upgrading the ESP is just adding the electrical fields. Then we gave an idea. The smart way of upgrading is either making it hybrid by converting the last field into a back filter, good quality of back filter for normal type of fuels. But for difficult type of fuels, the another smarter way of doing it is by adding the EGB in the outlet funnel of ESP. This is the most compact way of doing it. If the plant does not have a space between ESP and ID fan, the EGB can be fitted within the outlet funnel itself and can reduce the emissions below 20 milligram. And then on back filter side, you can add modules and increase the efficiency, or using the plated bags, or using the better bags, PTFE membrane bags, or making the bags into a electrofabric filter by having an ionizer in the inlet duct, charging the particles to the negative charge, and then allowing the conglomeration of particles on the back filter surface, and then collecting a better cake as compared to the normal back filter. And then we came to the different type of scrubbers, how we can modify. These are the three, like venturi scrubbers can be modified to vent tray scrubber, adding the sieve tray or night tray and the cyclonic separator. And then fixed vane, this tray scrubber can be modified by adding number of trays depending on the efficiency requirement. The fixed vane scrubber, which is the newly developed and promoted by 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗋 in recent past. We have now 40 installation in India. This also has an easy upgradation by just adding the number of vanes. More number of vanes means better efficiency you can achieve. And then cyclonic scrubber can also be converted into series scrubbers, cyclonic vane scrubbers. Partial, I mean, you have a 80-90%, 90% collection from this cyclonic separation, and then followed by the separation through a demisting or a scrubbing vane put on the top of the body. And then the possible upgrade, if you are looking for very low emissions, then the wet methodology to upgrade the scrubber into 𝗓𝗏𝗔𝗍𝒑. The bottom portion will remain as a scrubber, the top portion, the collecting plate, collecting pipes, hexagonal pipes, and the emitting electrode. So the 𝗓𝗏𝗔𝒑 module can be fitted on the top of the scrubber and convert the whole construction into 𝗓𝗏𝗔𝒑 at a very economical cost. So this was, we were looking at best available technology in European countries and US, EU standard are defined based on the best available technology, which has the particulate emission to the 2 to 5 milligram per normal meter cube, SOx 20 to 75, NOx 65 to 85, and mercury 0.03 milligram. So we described that our future lies not in the independent technologies like ESP, bag filter, or a scrubber. The future lies in the hybrid technology. And for doing hybrid, a lot of study for that particular plant and application is required. So my humble request to each one of you, whenever there is a upgradation due on any APC system in your plant or in your premises, do not go blindfold, just adding one field or adding something or increasing in the name of increasing the efficiency. It has a lot of repercussions on the performance of the attached source of pollution like boiler or any other furnace or anything. That means it has to be properly studied, and then based on the best available technology and studying the real-time data, the right kind of upgradation or the hybrid technology can be innovated and then put with that system for a better adaptability and regularly getting on a long-term basis the good results. So in a summarize, we summarize with 4 hybrid technologies in the last. One is the hybrid model of this dryer or 𝗓𝗏𝗔𝒑. The second one was having a ESP, then putting up a dry FGD followed by 𝗓𝗏𝗔𝒑. So it was for reduction of SOx as well as reduction of particulate matter down to below 10 milligram. Then the electro filter was also summarized as one of the future solution, and then MEPA with ESP attached with EGB. So these were the technologies which are the future of the industry to get gaseous pollutants as well as very fine particulate captured into the system. Thank you so much. So this is what all the 3 webinars, a summary of all the 3 webinars, and I hope each one of you everyone should participate. This is my request to everyone that each one of you should participate in that. It is going to be a fun, and you will also see the questions which are very simple and coming from this webinar only. So I take a break for time being. I hand over the dais to Prakhar and Anjali to conduct the quiz. Thank you so much for this. And today was the last webinar of this series. So we will be definitely meeting while designing the next series and coming. stay connected on our social media network. So whenever there is a new announcement, you will come to know about some new technology which we will be presenting very soon. Thank you and enjoy the quiz contest. Thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. So are you guys ready for the quiz contest? If you are ready, please write ready in the chat box. Good. So all are pretty excited for the test, huh? Right, good.
Yeah.
Good spirit. So I'll just share the link in the chat box. It is a 10-minute test, and the questions will be comprising of all the 4 webinars. Few questions of all the 4 webinars. There is no negative marking. The exam is for 10 minutes. So I'll just share the link. You just have to enter your name and email ID in that link, and the exam will start at that moment. Okay, so I'm just sharing the link.
And the one announcement, the people, whosoever is from 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗄𝗋 should not attend this. Please stay away. The 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗄𝗋 team, if it is some people are there.
Yeah,
okay.
It will be a fair test. So yeah. Nobody
online
will be
marking
attending this quiz from 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗄𝗋 team. This is only for our viewers. Okay, so I'm just sharing the link. You can click on the link in the chat box and start your quiz. It is of 10 minutes, and we will come back after the attending the quiz.
They need to submit, just click it and submit the answer. Yeah.
Yes, all are requested to click on the link and start their quiz. Okay, I can see many people giving the exam test, right? Quiz. Okay. Those of you scoring the highest marks will be awarded with Green Heroes merchandise.
How many are attending, Prakhar?
Yes, around 30 people are attending the quiz.
Okay, good, good. Keep it up, guys.
Okay, I can see few people have already finished their quiz. Good one. Okay, another 3 to 4 minutes left for the quiz. Okay, few more minutes left.
So whosoever has completed the test, please write completed in the chat box so that we know how many are still doing out of total 35, I suppose, who are attending. Good. Okay. So let's wait for another few minutes. Let others also complete. Prakhar, can you check how many have completed from the
Yes,
system
around
software?
6 to 7 people are still giving the test.
Okay,
the
okay,
quiz.
okay. Let us wait for some time.
Let us wait for just 2 more minutes.
Oh, completed in 6 minutes. Thank you. And congratulations, Mr. Dalip. Very easy for you. I know.
Yes.
Prakhar, your voice is quite low, so you can increase your volume.
Okay.
Guys, one more link will be flashed after some time at the end of the session to download the participation certificates for this particular webinar. 𝗘𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗏, you are the stalwarts. Your heartbeat must be very, very calm. Okay, whosoever is not yet done, please write is still doing, so that we know if everyone has completed. Then Prakhar can take it over and announce the results. So Prakhar, I think you can now see whosoever is attending.
And
how many are still attending?
I guess 5 people are still attending.
Okay, okay. Please do it fast.
Okay, I guess people have not pressed the end button, but they have completed all the questions. So it is.
So please, can they do it again, pressing the end button? It is submitted?
No, it is not submitted yet.
Okay, so just announce the procedure how to submit it.
Okay, there will be a finish button at the bottom right corner. So by pressing the finish button, you can end the quiz.
Prakhar, your voice is little low, so you can just.
Okay, I'll just check my this internet. Disconnect.
Unmute yourself. Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes,
there is.
It's clear now. Yes, I'll just announce the results. Okay.
So we are going to announce the top position, first position.
Yes, the first top position. Okay. So the top position scorer is Mr. Braj Nandan Singh.
Mr. Braj Nandan Singh. Okay, congratulations. So how many, just a score you can tell?
Yeah, Mr. Braj has scored 13 out of 14, or 13 questions were correct out of 14.
So can you unmute Prakhar, Mr. Braj, and he can just show his face to everyone, come on the screen and speak something about the quiz. If you can unmute.
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Braj, you can come forward and please speak something on this webinar and tell give us your feedback. And how did you attempt this quiz? Congratulations to Braj. Have you unmuted? Yes, Mr. Braz, you are unmuted now. Please open your video if possible, and then tell us something about your feedback on this webinar as well as on this quiz.
Okay, I guess there is some technical issue from Mr. Braz.
Okay. So
okay, what I'll do meanwhile, I'll just read out all the correct answers so that everyone is clear.
Okay, first let us congratulate Braz for his
Mr. Braz,
winning this quiz contest. And your number is there with our backend team. Our team will be contacting you tomorrow on telephone and then discuss about the modalities of sending you the award, the certificate, and the merchandise of Green Heroes. Plus, we would also be connecting with you for publishing your interview on our Green Hero website. Thank you, Braz. And thank you everyone else for participating and completing this quiz. Thank you for your interest and continuing supports to 𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗋 and the webinars, what we are doing. So over to you, Prakhar. Now you can announce the right answers of each question.
So I request everyone to stay till the end. I will be sharing the link for the certificate through which you can download your participation certificate. Okay. So I'll just announce the correct
or
answer.
Can you? Okay.
Okay. So the question 1: how many million tons of CO2 released in Amazon wildfire in 2019? The correct answer was 350 metric ton, which we showed in the presentation as well. The second question is how electrodes are cleaned in wet ESP. The correct answer is water flushing. There is no mechanical wrapping, hammer, sonic, or MIGI wrapping in wet ESP. It is through water flushing. The third question is select the correct combination of hybrid biomass dryer. The correct answer is dryer plus wet ESP. The fourth question is which is the most advanced air pollution control technology in wet separation? The answer is wet ESP. Which wrapping system is present in EGB? There were 4 options: MIGI wrapping, tumbling hammer, water flushing, and none of the above. The right answer is none of the above, because EGB doesn't have any wrapping system. All the ash particles and gravels are cleaned outside the system. The sixth question is what AQI represent for? So the right answer is air quality index. The seventh question is, can we use dry ESP after biomass? The answer is no. Why? Because after biomass dryer, the flue gas become moist. It has a high moisture flue gas. So dry separation system will not work after biomass dryer. So they need to go either with a wet technology, either with wet scrubber or wet ESP. Question number 8, which statement is wrong for wet ESP? There were 4 options, that emissions below 10 milligram, capture aerosols, capture greenhouse gases, and fourth one is higher power consumption than dry ESP. The question was which statement is wrong for wet ESP. So the higher power consumption is the statement which is wrong for wet ESP, because it has a lower power consumption than a dry ESP, and it can get you below 10 milligrams. It can also capture aerosols and greenhouse gases. Question number 9 was, what is the most compact upgrade for your existing dry ESP? So the most compact and most effective, I would say, would be adding EGB in the downstream, which is the option 2. And right, so the 10th question is, what FVS stand for in wet scrubber technology? The answer is fixed vane scrubber. The 11th question is, which is the most versatile air pollution control device to capture solid and gaseous pollutants in a single module? So the answer is wet ESP, because it can also capture like SOx, tar as well, the high density fluid, right? The question 12th is, what are the current value normally maintained in EGB under ideal operating conditions? So the answer is 0 milliamps, because the collecting plates in EGB are the gravels, which are non-conductor of electricity. So only the voltage role is here. There is no current passing through it. The 13th question is, when was the Bhopal gas tragedy happened? So it was in 1984. And what BAT stands for in air pollution control technology, which is the best available technology, BAT. So these were the right answers of all the questions. I hope many of you have done and get your answers.
There is a demand from the participant to announce second and third position as well.
Okay.
So please announce second and third, and also get connected with them tomorrow.
Yes, we will definitely get connected.
Yeah.
So the second one who has scored 12 out of 14 is Mr. 𝗘𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗂.
So let us give him a round of applause to 𝗘𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗂 as well. And please, if you are there, yes, you are there. Rakeshji, congratulations. You can just unmute him if you can, and then he will.
Just a second, I'll just unmute.
Let him speak and tell about his experience for a moment. Yes, Rakeshji. Yes, Rakeshji.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are getting you. Please.
Thank you very much, Verma-ji, Rajesh Verma-ji. This is the most valuable webinar of all 4 webinars, and learn about ESP and about pollution control system, and I think we adopt this system in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, 𝗘𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗂. Thank you, and congratulations for securing second position. And who is the third one?
The third one is Mr. Okay, third one is, I guess, tie-ups. So
how?
I'll just check who has done in the minimum time. And
no, if the score is same, please tell who all are there.
Yeah, there are 4 people who have scored the same.
Okay, please tell the name.
Sudhir Kumar Singh, Mr.
Okay, Sudhirji.
Mr. Karthik KM, and Mr. Anshul Jha.
Congratulations, everyone. The 4 people is on the.
Our team will contact you shortly.
So 4 + 2, total 6 persons. Yes. Our team will be in touch very shortly and connect over telephone for further proceedings in this regard. Right, so and for participation certificate, you can just put up the link.
Put the link for participation.
Yes, link is there in the chat box. Whoever is want to download, they can download the participation certificate.
Yes. Meanwhile, we can take up the question and answer part.
If any question is pending.
I guess yes, there are a few questions.
Yeah. Let me just. Can you just announce? Thank you. Yes, question is from Mr. Sudhir. Excellent presentation by Rajesh, especially on BD hybrid. Okay, this is on compliment. Thank you very much. Thank you, Braj. Okay, there is no question which is there. We have replied, I think, most of them.
Yes, because I guess today was a general webinar. It was on a general topic of environment. So there is not much question.
So guys, thank you so much. We take a leave, and whoever wants to download the participation certificate, they can do so. Please stay connected on our SMM, the Facebook and LinkedIn and others. And we will be announcing whenever we are ready with the next series of webinars on some new technology we are studying, and we are in the process of doing some R&D on a couple of new things. And once we are ready with those preliminary results, we will be coming back on a new topic very shortly and announce that on our SMM. So thank you so much for attending all this series of.
We can discuss on mail to mail, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.